Have you ever truly watched a flower in its final days? Not a passing glance, but a deep observation. There is no agony in its fading colors, no frantic struggle against the inevitable. There is a surrender, a slow, silent, and impossibly elegant yielding, like the final graceful bow of a dancer after a perfect performance. It does not cling to the stem with a desperate grip. It simply unravels, letting go of its form, giving itself back to the dark, rich earth that once nourished its becoming. It is a lesson in grace. Flowers do not fear dying. So why are we, creatures of vast consciousness, so utterly terrified of it? Walk through an old garden at dusk, that liminal space between the day's certainty and the night's mystery. Here, the cycle of life is not an abstract concept. It is a visible, breathing symphony. See the new buds, clenched like tiny fists full of green promise, trembling with the potential for light. Beside them, the full, shameless glory of the bloom, a sun in miniature, a vibrant splash of color offering its ephemeral beauty and its life-giving nectar without reservation, in a pure, unthinking act of celebration. And then, further on, the final movement of the symphony, the melancholic beauty of the end, the dried petals, thin and fragile as ancient parchment, that release themselves to the slightest breeze. This is not a vision of failure. It is a vision of wholeness. The air does not carry the stench of decay, but the deep, earthy perfume of transformation, a fertile mulch of memory and matter that promises 1,000 new lives to come. Our paralyzing fear is perhaps born from our greatest gift, which is also our greatest curse, the consciousness of I. A flower does not perceive itself as a singular entity, a precious identity separate from the whole. It is the garden. Its roots are a hidden, intertwined communion with its sisters, a silent sharing of moisture, minerals, and the deep secrets of the soil. Its color is a living conversation with the photons of the sun. Its scent, an invisible dialogue with the wind and the bee. It exists in a state of perpetual, blissful belonging. Its life is not a possession to be guarded. It is a participation in a grander dance. It has no ego to protect, no carefully constructed story of self to mourn. And us? We spend our entire lives building the fortress of I. We give it a name, a history, a collection of achievements and wounds. We defend its borders with fierce pride. We live as isolated islands of consciousness, and so we dread the inevitable tide that will one day dissolve our shores and pull us back into the boundless, unified ocean. We have forgotten that we, too, are the ocean pretending to be a wave. The flower never forgets it is the garden. The flower understands in its silent, cellular wisdom that its existence is a temporary loan of cosmic energy. The breathtaking beauty it manifests does not truly belong to it. It is merely a channel, a brief, glorious vessel for the beauty of the universe to express itself. Its purpose is not to endure forever, but to bloom fully in its given season, to be the most unapologetic red, the most radiant yellow, and then, crucially, to return that energy to the system. Every falling petal is a sacrament. It decomposes and becomes the sacred meal for the dormant seed that sleeps at its side. Its death is not a period at the end of a sentence. It is a comma, a pause before the story continues in another form. It is the ultimate act of generosity, a final gift that ensures the dance can go on. We, in contrast, perceive death as the ultimate theft, the final cruel burglar that takes our time, our relationships, our memories, our very self. We fight it with every fiber of our being. We write our stories in stone. We build monuments to our names. We try to freeze moments in the amber of photographs, all in a desperate, breathless attempt to shout into the void, "I was here. I mattered. I cannot simply vanish." Our fear of death is not a fear of non-being, but the fear of being forgotten. The fear that the precious, unique I we so painstakingly crafted will be extinguished like a candle flame in a storm. The flower has no need to be remembered, for it never truly leaves. It becomes the lingering fragrance in the evening air, the rich nutrient in the dark earth, the vibrant color on the wing of a butterfly that drank its nectar. The climax of our peace, the only true antidote to our fear, lies in remembering this forgotten truth, in accepting that we are not separate. We, too, are part of a vast, interconnected garden. Our complex consciousness gifted us the profound and painful illusion of separation, but our bodies follow the same ancient, immutable laws. The carbon in our cells was forged in the heart of a dying star millions of years ago, just like the flowers. The water in our blood has flowed in ancient rivers. The air in our lungs is the same air that whispers through the leaves of the oldest trees. Our death, then, is not an annihilation of self. It is a restitution, a homecoming. It is our turn to become the soil, to be the memory that nourishes the future. Our atoms, borrowed from the universe for one brief, glorious, conscious moment, are returned to the great cosmic library to be checked out again. To die is not to leave the garden. It is to finally, and most profoundly, become the garden. This is not a lesson in nihilism. The flower's wisdom is not about wishing for the end, but about how to truly live. To live as it does, in totality. To give our unique color, our personal fragrance, our deepest truth to the world without fear and without reservation, in every moment we are given. The one who lives fully does not fear the end, because there is nothing left undone, nothing left ungiven. The fear of death is merely the shadow of an unlived life. The flower does not fear the coming winter, because it gave its entire being to the glory of spring and summer. May we learn this impossible grace. May we bloom with such breathtaking courage that when our season comes to an end, and it is our time to unravel, we can do so not with terror, but with the serene, silent beauty of a petal returning to the earth.